Hello and welcome to the options walkthrough video for the Pokemon Game Corner stream game for Twitch. So this is actually the second version of this options video because a few large updates were added and I wanted to show those. But for the most part, most of the options are the same. So if you see some of the text in the options look slightly different, it's because I'm using most of the tutorial that was originally filmed for things that have not changed. But I will highlight all the new options, so you should not be confused there about what is available. I'll go ahead and show the demos of the competitive mode and cooperative mode. Free play mode is a new addition, but it is basically the same as competitive mode without the leaderboard. The first one is competitive mode, so that's when a viewer tips, follows, whatever you set the settings for, they get to spin the wheel, and if they win points, then they'll show up on the leaderboard. You can see the leaderboard here right now as an example. So in this mode, the game will be triggered by someone following, tipping. So we'll go ahead and do a test follow event. Alright, that's set to give you a 3 credit spin. I'll go over to OBS so I can enter chat commands. The game is going over there as well. And then to stop each reel, you want to enter the stop command, either the default one or you can customize it, and you'll want to do that 3 times. Nice, got some points there. So I'm the broadcaster, so I can also enter stop, but either the person viewing or if they're not responding for some reason, the broadcaster or moderator can stop for them. But there you go, I got 8 points, but it wasn't enough to get on the leaderboard because it's already pre-populated with some winners who've won multiple rounds. But that's how competitive mode works, and it can either be displaying all the time or just pop up when you get a new event. I just have it showing all the time for easier visibility. Alright, the second mode is co-op, and that's great for if you want to play yourself or you want everyone to play simultaneously. The way co-op works is you'll set values for each event. For example, a follower might be worth 5 credits, and it's kind of like your viewers buy tokens for the game by tipping, following, subbing. And then you can set the permissions. I'll give you a preview because it's hard to explain. We'll go through all these in the options walkthrough, but you can determine who can start a spin and who can stop the wheel. So here is a demo of that. We'll do a follower again. Awesome, so a follow is worth 5 credits. We'll go over now to OBS so we can use the chat. You'll notice that the wheel doesn't automatically start spinning. That's because you or whoever you give permissions to has to start the wheel via chat in co-op mode. So we'll enter the spin command followed by the number of credits we want to wager. Now the wheel starts spinning, and this time I only wagered 2 credits. And we stop the wheel the exact same way. In co-op mode, there's no leaderboard, and your goal is just to get to as many credits as you can, or whatever you and your stream want to do. So those are the demos of how both modes work. I'll leave a note here, I'll mention it later as well because it's pretty important. When you're actually playing, you don't want to have this tab open in StreamElements because, as you can see, since the reels spin so fast, when you enter the chat command, it's possible that they land on different spaces and you get different results. So since the leaderboard is tracking the results and you can keep using the same leaderboard between streams. If you have the game open in two places, they're basically competing for saving that data. So you might be saving this version, or you might be saving this version, which is what your viewers actually see, and this is the version you want saved. So just close the StreamElements tab when you're actually streaming. If you don't need to keep track of the leaderboard between streams, then don't even worry about it, but that is done by default. And you can reset the leaderboard and your credits at any time to start over fresh. Okay, now that you know how the gameplay actually works, let's go to the customization settings. To access them, go to the settings tab on the left, and you'll see the settings broken out into different sections. We'll go over the settings that are applied no matter what game mode you have. So the first option is just to choose your game mode. You have these three options. The spin command, so these are used in both co-op and free play mode whenever you want to spin the wheel. And you can choose the stop method, so there's a stop command that you or the user, donator, whoever is going to enter to stop the reels. You can either enter the stop command 3 times to stop each reel separately, kind of like the actual game. You can enter stop just once and it will stop all 3 reels. Or you can do auto stop where it will just stop by itself. This remove after X seconds options is if you want these slots to appear, say when someone follows, donates, the number you enter here will be the number of seconds it stays up after the spin is over before disappearing. If you have it set to 0, then it shows all the time. You can choose music if you want that to play. The anthems from these different Pokemon versions are included, or you can have no music play at all. You can change the background color. And then there are buttons to reset the leaderboard and credits from here in StreamElements. And there are also chat commands if you want to do it via chat. So there's a reset credits button that sets it to 0 just because there's no way to specify the number of credits if you want it to set it to something else. But for the set credits chat command, just enter the number you want it to set it to, and it will change to that number. You can add 0 to reset them. And reset leaderboard chat command here as well. And the trigger permissions for those chat commands. Before fully going over all the options available for all the game modes, one of the new additions is triggering the game with channel points. So just as an example, you can see here, you can choose to use channel points as a trigger, and then you'll enter the rewards name below. So I'll quickly show you how to set up a channel points reward in Twitch if you're not sure how that works. So over in Twitch, we're in the creator dashboard. You'll want to go to viewer rewards and then power ups and channel points. Just keep in mind, remember that you have to be an affiliate to have channel points, so this will only work obviously if you can set up channel points. Then go to manage power ups and channel points. Scroll down and you'll get to custom rewards. You can see a couple tests I've done here. And we'll create a new custom reward. Right here is the name that you'll actually paste into StreamElements. Name it whatever you want. And you have to enter a cost for how many channel points you want the viewer to spend for this redemption. And you can customize some of these other options if you need to, but these are the main things you need. And you'll want to copy this name so you can enter it into StreamElements. You can also create different custom rewards for different credit wagers. That'll make a little bit more sense when we go through competitive mode and explain those options a little bit more. But for now, we'll just create this fake one. And you would enter that name here, like so. So for the rest of all the options, channel points are really the only new addition, so I'll highlight where those are before just letting the original tutorial finish up explaining all the options. So for the different trigger credit wagers, you'll have a channel points option in competitive mode. For 2 credits, 1 credit. And then for cooperative mode, there is a new option for channel points, so the number of credits you get, and similarly the name of the reward. I'll go through all these options right now, just wanted to highlight the addition of channel points. First, we'll start with the options for competitive and free play mode, because again, they're very similar, just with or without a leaderboard. And in free play mode, you can also give it a free spin via chat command whenever. And then below, you can set what triggers each of the types of credit wagers. So it starts with the 3 credit wager triggers. That's the highest chance of winning. Currently selected is everything, and then you set minimum amounts for cheers and tips, so that way if you want to have a tier system like $3 is a 3 credit wager, $2 is a 2 credit wager, so on and so forth, you can do that by setting these minimum amounts. If you have, like is shown here, follows checked for both a 2 and a 3 credit wager, it will automatically use the highest wager. So just something to keep in mind when you're setting up the triggers, because as you can see, there are a lot of options, so it's a little hard to keep track of sometimes. And then there's the same options for 1 credit wager, 2 credit wager, they just repeat. Those are all the options for competitive mode. And then in co-op mode, you can set the permissions for who can start the wheel and who can stop the wheel. So if you check anyone, then all of these will be included by default. But any of these and the exact criteria has to be met. So if you want to just play yourself, you can uncheck all 3 of these for both spin and stop, and it'll be like your viewers are buying you credits and you're playing. And then you also get to set how many credits each event gets you. For bits and tips, the amount is per 100 bits and per 1 of the channel currency, whether that's dollars, euros. It will pull from your channel currency. So if someone tips less than $1 or less than 100 bits, it will just do the math and round, because obviously you can't have a partial credit. So that's how that works. You can also set a minimum, just so for example, if you don't want to trigger any wager under a certain amount of bits or whatnot, then you can set minimums here. There's also a section to select which sprites you want to be in the rotation. If you have all of them, like the original game, it's honestly pretty hard. So if you want to increase the hit rate, you can deselect any of these, and it will give your viewers a better chance of getting a hit. You should have at least 3 though, otherwise it's super repetitive and you'll get like multiple wins per spin. Unless you want that, then go for it. And this last section is if you want to customize any of the alert messages. So that's just the message that pops up that says so-and-so tipped $5. If you want to put it in your own language, you can do that here. Just keep in mind these bracketed values are what get subbed with the actual values in the message. So username and the amount for bits and tips. Make sure those are in there if you need those numbers to show up. And this formatting display locale option is to set the currency unit in the right place per your language. So whether it goes before or after, just select your language and region here so that it will be correct. Those are all the options for this game. I know there are a lot. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Etsy. And I hope you like this game. I had so much fun making it. Also, one last little thing, if you need to resize the widget in here, you can also do it in OBS, but you can move this blue border box around and it'll snap into place once you actually move it. It takes a second to load. Just keep it roughly square, otherwise you might cut off part of the frame. But yeah, that's it. Happy streaming, guys. Have a good one. And close the StreamElements tab in your browser before playing. Important.